This is Comic Picks by the Glick.
Hey, I'm your host, Jason Glick.
Hey, Jason, what do you have for us today?
Well, this is the latest installment in a series I've been covering for a good long while now. This is the third Battle Angel Alita series. Now, the first series is a certified classic, by any standard. Basically, a series that got a lot of fans into manga in the first place, and inspired one James Cameron to produce a Robert Rodriguez directed film about the character. That's like a while back, and that's great and all. But the series also, like the original series, is also notorious for just having a very rushed ending because Kishiro, its creator Yukito Kishiro was facing like illness and other circumstances, and so he just wrapped this up really quick, and it didn't really feel as satisfying as the rest of the series did up to that point. So when he went back to it and delivered Battle Angel Alita Last Order, it's like it was great because hey, he was going back in years, giving us a series that like the finale that we thought we were going to get in the first place, that eventually developed into its own story. It's about Alita's place in the universe. It's and what she was fighting for, as well. And that, and I really enjoyed that, even though it's it went on for much longer than the original series. It's and it kind of felt hey, you were just getting a big old, it was just one big, tournament fight, towards the end, except up until the point where it's where the series transitioned from being published by Shueisha, who had basically done everything the series done up to that point, to Kodansha, because apparently Kishiro had a major conflict with his staff there, to the point where it's they'd made some edits that he did implement, because he's a stand-up guy, but then he just said, okay, I did this, now screw you guys, I'm out of here, and then took everything, and then took Alita over to Kodansha. The resulting final chapters of Last Order were, they left a lot to be desired, honestly. They just felt really simple and straightforward compared to the detailed action philosophical sci-fi stuff that he had been delivering up to that point. And if and I would have been just really disappointed, if in realizing that this is how you're gonna leave the series, you just try to give the series another, a new ending, only to deliver this. But fortunately, it's I, by the time that Last Order wrapped up, I had already been aware that he was going to deliver his next series, Battle Angel Alita Mars Chronicle. Now, of course, I know that the series is called Gundam in Japan, or Gun, short for Gun Dream, and Battle Angel Alita is a invention of the American localization of this series. But hey, man, it's I grew up with Battle Angel Alita as the title of this series, so it's that, that's what it's always going to be to me. But Battle Angel Alita Mars Chronicle, well, oh man, it's on one hand, I anyone who felt that Kishiro lost the plot in in producing Last Order, and it's sprawl and expansion of Lee's universe. Well, this the series isn't going to convince you that he's found the plot again, really, because this is, with one volume exception, this is basically an extended prequel that not that really doesn't that is that you would think is meant to show Alita's backstory when she was growing up as a kid named Yoko on Mars, but it really isn't. If anything, it's more about her frenemy, Erica, and her. It's and how she. It's and how she grew into being the assured villainess that she was, as she showed up, briefly in cameo bits in Last Order, and in the second volume of of this series, because well, basically we're talking this series takes place like several decades earlier. It's like when after Alita, it's like Alita and sorry, Yoko and Erica have found their way out of the it's the minefield that they originally found themselves in Last Order, and they're rescued by by this Panzerkunst master Gelda. It's like, and hey, they're eventually shipped off to this orphanage where they're just treated as second class citizens. Erica is just meant to be, it's just being toyed with by it's by the girl who's leading the orphanage kids there. It's like, and Yoko is just trying to survive as just hey, as a girl who just barely understands her fully cyberized body. But while the first volume does a good job of showcasing the horrors of war, it's the series takes a quick deviation to the present day with its second volume, which feels like a proper follow up to Last Order, as Alita and Erica confront each other on the present day of Mars, and it gives you the impression that wow, it's like we're gonna focus off between like you know stories on back their backstory, and then hey, this present day stuff. Well, no, that's not the case, because this second volume is just basically an outlier. It just kind of feels like Kishiro just kind of was either felt like he had to, or was obligated to offer some follow up for the events of Last Order. And yeah, it's good follow up. It's I think that setting up the conflict between Alita and it's and Erica. It's and also the threat posed by Dasein, and also the reintroduction of Destiny Supernova. This is all handled pretty pretty well. It's and I would have been fine with seeing this being pursued further. It's not. After volume two, the following 9 volumes are all backstory, for the for Yoko and Erica's time on Mars. Now, it's I expressed my misgivings about just how this played out, because I kind of felt that hey, it's after after the end of Last Order, you were going to get some follow up on this, right? Well, no, we never did, and we're still waiting for that, beyond volume 2 of this series. But even then, it's I kind of this is a series that produced after it's after its initial backlog was cleared, we still got around to one volume a year, and that was I won't lie, it's a little frustrating, but going back and rereading all 11 volumes of Mars Chronicle, it's actually a more solid read than I was expecting, to be honest. That being said, you do kind of have to divorce yourself with the fact that you're going to get any follow up on the events of Last Order after Volume 2, as well as any focus on Alita, like to this point as well, because she's still just a kid, and while we do get some backstory like for her, including her her true origin, and also her some examples of her peerless technical mind. Well, it's this series is really more about Erica than anything else, and also showing you just how it's how she became the villain she was, not just because of how she grew up in a in a loveless family with her with her mom and dad, but also under the tutelage of the reprehensible Baron Muster. It's a true villain who originally was a young man named Ital, who wanted to uncover the true history of Mars, but then was subjected to some truly like terror it's terrible torture by a by one of its regional queens. It's like and he just eventually realized why was I meant to be subject to such terrible punishment. And then he finally realized oh, I understand, it's because it's to punish me for the stuff that I was going to commit, not and so that's why he became this reprehensible villain, someone who is just thoroughly crazed and depraved, even as he suffered at the hands of his disease the mascotomas, basically a disease that causes faces to be grown on his body with their own intelligence, and that eventually threaten his own personality as well. One thing that mangaka Yukito Kishiro has done really well over the course of the series is like give us compelling characters to follow, that even when the series looks like it's losing the plot, you've got your faith in the characters to see you through. And that is absolutely true in the case of Mars Chronicle. I mean, yeah, it's like Alita basically becomes back a very much supporting character in the very background through most of the series run. But the way that Erica is developed, the way that we see Baron Muster's character is developed, in volumes 3 through 6, it's that is this is actually handled really well. It's and generally entertainingly pretty well. And also it's Kishiro has not lost his ability to create some really impressive action scenes, or from the original series as well. He's maybe it's there's less detail in his work these days, and I think that's still a hangover from the transition from Shueisha to Kodansha, because his work in the Shueisha era really had a lot of detail to it, and there's not nearly as much in his in the Kodansha volumes so far, but still it's really solid, and it becomes even more clear as the series goes on. And after we get to volume 7, which introduces Kyun the Kaufman, he's a practitioner of Panzerkunst, whose main goal is to find out just why his love of his life, Wani, was killed in a mysterious hovercraft crash. So, and he's and yeah, it's and he's just a kind of a mostly just a generally likable, happy-go-lucky kind, not happy-go-lucky, but just a like a uh, principal kind of guy who just tries to do the right thing, and has a belief in just what he's doing is right. So he's a likable, entertaining character. Someone, and also someone who's just knows how to handle himself in a fight, which is definitely a must for for this series. So seeing him and how he handles himself, and also the expansion of the lore behind the practitioners of Panzerkunst, in volumes 7 through 11, is generally pretty solid. It's yeah, it's I there were parts I felt like the series was kind of spinning its wheels as it set up stuff, but this is a case where upon rereading everything, it actually does hang together pretty well. It's and also the action is really solid, especially Kyun's fights against the Mechanismo fighter Yapulo. It's in volumes 9. It's 9 and 10. Those are some really standout action sequences. It shows you that hey, Kishiro still has it after all these years. So, but But then you get to the final volume, and it's like I was honestly surprised to to get to find out that volume 11 was like it. Even though as I was following the reports on the series serialization on a news network, and I realized that, oh well, I should have known that this was like the final volume. But well, as far as volume 11 goes in terms of wrapping things up, well, this really feels more like the mid arc refresh that Marvel Comics has been doing in a lot of their runs. Like say with Philip Kennedy Johnson's Hulk run, Al Ewing's run on Venom, and also Ewing's work on Thor as well. Like basically, um Volume 11, even though it's the end of Mars Chronicle, it's not the end of the story being told. In fact, we're already told that there's going to be a new Alita series coming in the future that picks up on this. And in fact, it sounds like this is going to be picking up in the future as well, to the point where hey, maybe Alita will actually be a protagonist in this new series. But as far as the final volume goes, well, it's it's still like more of a solo focus on Q and the Kaufman, and hey, he's already established his bona fides as a worthwhile character in this series, and I kind of don't want to give too much away about what his fate is, but it feels appropriate. I mean, I wouldn't say satisfying, but I understood how 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 that his how the culmination of his arc feeds into the overall development of the series, and the business about Hexenhaus, or gingerbread house in German. It's feeds into the overall story as well. There's the big secret about that people don't want you to know about about the origins of Panzerkunst. So yeah, it's I think I think it worked, but at the same time though, it's anyone who is abandoned the series because it feels that it's lost the point about hey, it's focused on Alita and her story. Mars Chronicle, it's not going to bring you back really, because Alita is just pushed even further into the background of the series. But even as it shows that the Kishiro may have may have lost the plot, he has not lost any of his talents that basically endeared you to following his work in the first place. He's still capable of delivering like likable, or not really likable, but interesting characters that you want to know more about, and compelling action sequences as well. Like someone who is just he's really good at what he does in terms of building out this world. And even though I understand, I can understand why people wouldn't want to follow the series at this point. In fact, it's to the point where we're now two series following on from the flawed end of Battle Angel Alita. I can understand where you may just want to go, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna accept the end of Battle Angel Alita as its true end, and not just have to follow on with all this extra stuff. But as someone who's just kept follow kept yeah, kept going on from this, it's yeah, I'm fine. It's I do like what he's doing here, and the next series is hasn't been announced yet in terms of what it's going to cover and when it's going to arrive, or when it's going to arrive in the U.S. Well, I'm sure it's going to arrive here at some point. But overall, I it's I'm gonna keep following it. It's I think that for all its even if it's for all its issues, I still really did enjoy Mars Chronicle. It's and I'm gonna I want to keep seeing where he's going to go with this. You know, wherever he goes with this, whenever he goes with it. So there you go.
All right. Well, do you know what you're going to be talking about next time?
We're going to the going back to the relatively more sane like branches of the Marvel universe with their latest event, One World Under Doom, which surprise basically imagines what happens if Doctor Doom was able to like take over the entire world, and everyone basically said, "Hey, that's cool, man."
All right. I'm going to catch you next time on Comic Picks by the Click.
Later's everyone.